my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my 2025 reading wrap-up, where I will be going over all of my reading stats first, and then I will be naming everything that I read in 2025 and giving their ratings. So with that, there is a list of resources in the description of this video with a lot of links about current and ongoing events, because there are a lot of awful and inhumane things happening and that have been happening. Speaking of which, there are a couple of new links down there with information about your rights in the United States regarding ICE in particular. But yeah, 2025, not a great year to say the least. I did meet my reading goal in the final hours of it thanks to a lot, and I do mean a lot, of manga, as you will hear, and that goal was 150. I will be lowering that in 2026, by the way. And all of these stats, graphs, and charts that you are going to be seeing on the screen are from Storygraph. I don't necessarily log everything that I read. There are a lot of manga chapters, for example, that don't have manga volumes yet, and I also don't double check everything either to make sure that I'm logging the correct edition. But across 150 books, Storygraph says that that is 33,589 pages, which I always feel like is the most inaccurate to my reading life stat that I give, but there it is. The first book that I finished in 2025 was A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger, and the final book that I finished in 2025 was Volume 6 of Komi Can't Communicate by Tomohito Oda. The moon map up on the screen looks like it was pretty light towards the beginning of the year and then like dips for a majority of it, but then it climbs up a little bit towards the end of the year, but then it also does dip back down some in like November and December. And here is the books and pages read per month chart. The highest for both is December, but it looks like April and February were also pretty high too, with the lowest being November. The genres that I spent the most time with are number 1, manga at 96, and then there's a gap, but then we have romance at 54, LGBTQIA+ at 45, fantasy at 36, and sports at 30. The longest book that I read was Babel and Arcane History by R.F. Kong at 544 pages, and the shortest that I read was Pages to Fill by Travis Baldree, which is the short story at the end of Legends and Lattes that is 34 pages. The average length of the books that I read were 221 pages, and it took me on average 7 days to finish a book. The least time that I spent with a book was Volume 2 of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity by Saka Mikami, and that was 1 day, and there are other manga volumes that I know I only spent 1 day with, and maybe even in reality less time. But I think this just may have been the one that came first, so it was chosen by Storygraph? I don't know. Most time spent with a book, and honestly, I do feel some shame about this, I'm not gonna lie. But it is Volume 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami, which I love this series, which is why I feel some shame and guilt about this. But it did take me 321 days to finish this volume. It is what it is. Authors I spent the most time with in 2025. We have Satoru Nii, the creator of Windbreaker, at 20 volumes. Then we have Saka Mikami, who is the creator of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, at 12 volumes. And then Suru Maikata, who is the creator of Mentalist, at 7. My average rating for the year was 4.08 out of 5, which is down from 2024, which was a 4.21, and it is also down from the mid-year of 2025, which was a 4.25. My highest rated month was January, where I apparently had only 5 stars, and my lowest was October, which had an average rating of 3.44, which makes me a little sad. Like, that's Halloween, it should be more fun. They say that the month I read the most pages in was December. The number that they give is 5,600. Again, I don't know how accurate that number is, but December feels correct. My most read book by other Storygraph users was Babel with 458,370 users, and my least read by other Storygraph users was Volume 4 of Lycoris Recoil with 8 users. And my highest rated from other Storygraph users was Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear, Poems from Gaza by Mosab Abu Toha, which has an average rating of 4.71 out of 5, which I don't tend to rate poetry collections, but that number feels very accurate. I read 51 new authors this year. 114 of the books that I read were a part of a series, and I didn't have any rereads, which is a sad stat to end on, but yeah, that's it. So with that, let's go ahead and start listing everything I read in 2025. I'll also say the ratings that I gave them if I rated them, but I don't rate everything that I read. Like, I don't really rate nonfiction, poetry, manga volumes. I think that's it, but we'll see. Starting off with A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity by Saka Mikami. Volume 1 of Lycoris Recoil by Yasunori Bizen and Spider Lily. Volumes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women That a Movement Forgot by Mickey Kendall, We Deserve Monuments by Jazz Hammonds, which I gave 4.25 out of 5 stars, Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars, Volume 1 of Penguin and House by Akiho Ida, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars, Volumes 2 and 3 of Penguin and House, Volume 1 of Having an Idol-Loving Boyfriend is the Best by Mito Aoi, Redemptor by Jordan E. Fueco, 5 out of 5 stars. Volume 2 of Having an Idol-Loving Boyfriend is the Best. Burn Down, Rise Up by Vincent Tirado, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Having an Idol-Loving Boyfriend is the Best, Volume 3. Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Gachia Kuda by Kei Urana, Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey, 3 out of 5 stars, Babel, An Arcane History by R.F. Kong, Chapter 1 of the Kagari Monster Family by Sora Daichi, Volume 1 of Windbreaker by Satoru Ni, Magotis by Gabe Calderon, 4.75 out of 5 stars, Volumes 2 and 3 of Windbreaker, Make Room for Love by Darcy Lau, 4.5 out of 5 stars, Volume 1 of Boys from the Riot by Keito Gaku, A Song for You and I by Kay O'Neill, 5 out of 5 stars, Volumes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of Windbreaker, How to Live Free in a Dangerous World, a Decolonial Memoir by Shayla Lawson, Volumes 10, 11, and 12 of Windbreaker, The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill, 4.5 out of 5 stars, Volume 13 of Windbreaker, The Tea Dragon Festival and The Tea Dragon Tapestry by Kay O'Neill, and I gave both of these 5 stars, Volumes 14, 15, 16, and 17 of Windbreaker, Mammoths at the Gate by Nivo, 3.75 out of 5 stars, Volumes 1 and 2 of Fushigi Yugi by Yu Watase, Chapters 1 through 10 of Yokai Watch by Noriyuki Konishi, Chapters 1 through 10 of Ninja vs. Gokudo by Shinsuke Kondo, Little Rot by Ikwege Imezi, 3.75 out of 5 stars, Volumes 18, 19, 20, and 21 of Windbreaker, Volume 2 of Boys Run the Riot, One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against Us by Omar El Akkad, A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, 3 out of 5 stars, Her Radiant Curse by Elizabeth Lim, 4.75 out of 5 stars, Mornings in Janine by Susan Abuhawa, 4.75 out of 5 stars, Volume 1 of The Moon on a Rainy Night by Kuzushiro, I'll Be the One by Lila Lee, 3.5 out of 5 stars, Volume 2 of The Moon on a Rainy Night, The River Has Roots by Amal El Motar, 4 out of 5 stars, Love and Focus by Lila Lee, 3 out of 5 stars, The Brides of High Hill by Nivo, 4.25 out of 5 stars, The Romantic Agenda by Claire Kahn, 4.25 out of 5 stars, Faybound by Sarah El Arifi, 3.5 out of 5 stars, The Luis Ortega Survival Club by Sonora Reyes, 5 out of 5 stars, Volume 3 of The Moon on a Rainy Night, Restart After Coming Back Home by Kokomi, 5 out of 5 stars, Chapters 119.1 to 129 of Kaiju Number 8 by Naoya Matsumoto, This Woven Kingdom by Taore Mafi, 3 out of 5 stars, Restart After Growing Hungry by Kokomi, 5 out of 5 stars, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, 4 out of 5 stars, and then also Pages to Fill by Travis Baldree, Wish You Weren't Here by Aaron Baldwin, 4.75 out of 5 stars, Volumes 13 and 14 and Chapters 125 and 126 of Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami, Volumes 1 and 2 of Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo, Volumes 23 and 24 of Haikyuu by Haruichi Furudate, These Vengeful Gods by Gabe Cole Novoa, 4.75 out of 5 stars, All Systems Red by Martha Wells, 3 out of 5 stars, Volumes 15 and 16 of Kimi ni Todoke From Me to You by Karu Hoshina, Zylan Kai by Christina Forrest, 4 out of 5 stars, Volumes 17 and 18 and then Chapter 76 of Kimi ni Todoke, The Honeys by Ryan Lasala, 3.75 out of 5 stars, Volume 1 of Puppets is a Tract by Hono Nasuna, Chapters 1 through 5 of Oblivion Battery by Echo Mikawa, You Started It by Jackie Kalilia, 4 out of 5 stars, Werewolves Don't Die by Anton Trier, 3.5 out of 5 stars, Volumes 2 and 3 of Puppets is a Tract, Volumes 4, 5, and 6 of The Moon on a Rainy Night, The First Light Novel of the Summer Hikaru Died by Mio Nukaga, 5 out of 5 stars, Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado, 3.75 out of 5 stars, Spells for Forgetting by Adrian Young, 2.75 out of 5 stars, Kiki's Delivery Service by Eiko Kadono, 4 out of 5 stars, Gyo by Junji Ito, 3.5 out of 5 stars, Volume 2 of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun by Osamu Nishi, The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, 3.5 out of 5 stars, These Infinite Threads by Tahereh Mafi, 3 out of 5 stars. The Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Chapters 27 to 42 of Ruby Dragon by Masaoki Shindo. Volumes 1 and 2 of Medalists by Suru Maikata. Demon in the Wood by Lee Bardugo and Danny Pendergast, 3.75 out of 5 stars. Volumes 4, 5, and 6 of Having an Idol-Loving Boyfriend Is the Best. Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear, Poems from Gaza by Mossab Abu Toha. Model Home by River Solomon, 5 out of 5 stars. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, 3.5 out of 5 stars. All This Twisted Glory by Tahereh Mafi, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Son of Elsewhere and Memoir in Pieces by Elamin Abdel Mahmoud. If I Had Your Face by Francis Cha, 5 out of 5 stars. Volumes 3 and 4 of Medalists. My Ultramarine Sky by Nagisa Furuya, 3 out of 5 stars. Volume 1 of Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko Kui. Volume 1 of Kaiju No. 8 Relax by Kizuku Watanabe. Volume 9 of Whisper Me a Love Song by Eku Takeshima. Volume 2 of Lycoris Recoil. Volume 11 of Skip and Loafer by Misaki Takamasu. Volumes 3 and 4 of Lycoris Recoil. Volumes 4 and 5 of Komi Can't Communicate by Tomohito Oda. The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Call, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Volumes 5, 6, and 7 of Medalists. Volume 6 of Komi Can't Communicate. Chapters 1 through 30 of Galaxias by Ao Hatesaka. Chapters 162 to 202 of Windbreaker. Chapters 50 to 156 of Gachiakuda. Chapters 94 to 173 of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Chapters 179 to 224 of Blue Box by Koji Miura. Chapters 141 to 188 of Akane Banashi by Takamasu Moe and Yuki Tsunaga. Chapters 63 to 106 of Kagurabachi by Takeru Hokazono. And finally, we have chapters 1 to 64 of Ichi the Witch by Osamu Nishi and Shiro Usazaki. Okay, so that is everything. I hope that's everything. If not, I'll find it and find a way to edit it in somehow. 2025 favorites videos, flip-throughs will hopefully be out soon. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye.